had a special request to talk about open office environments and people with high sensory intelligence, or HSPs. Um, this is a very sensitive topic, no pun intended there at all. And so let's dive in. I can vividly remember many years ago, I was interviewing for a new job with a Fortune 500 that was building out new offices in San Francisco. An executive was showing me around and giving me a tour and explaining the plans for the open office that they were building. And he was super excited about it because he and all the other execs were going to be embedded directly with their teams, and there was going to be all kinds of great collaboration and communication, and it was going to make everybody happier and more productive. And I also vividly remember my inwardly cringing, really wanting to tell him about all of the research that was then coming out about the myth of the open office and how employees really didn't like it as much as everyone thought they were going to. And yet I wanted the job and I kept my mouth shut. One of the least well-kept secrets among those with high sensory intelligence about the pandemic is that it came with a very bright silver lining, which was, of course, the ability for more employees to work from home. The great news is that a lot of companies kept that benefit and still allow employees to work from home, even now that the pandemic has ended. Unfortunately, a lot of other companies didn't get the memo. And as everyone knows, there's been a lot of debate and contention about companies forcing employees back in when they don't necessarily want to be there. So there are a lot of reasons that people like to work from home. And there are a lot of environmental reasons. It's better for the environment, less commute, spending less time commuting, less money, less gas, less wear and tear on the car, healthier not being in, public transit when you're still worried about things like COVID still happening. All that said, open office environments in particular are pretty much the worst case scenario for a lot of high sensory people. So why is this? Although a lot of HSPs don't necessarily agree with the statement I'm about to make, I'm going to say it anyway. So high sensory intelligence or high sensitivity is not a diagnosis like autism or ADHD or dyslexia or a lot of other types of neurodiversity. That said, research of a lot of different kinds by a lot of different people has shown that the brains of HSPs do function differently from normal brains. And I do the air quotes because, as I've said before, I don't believe in such a thing as neurotypical. I don't believe that there is one typical brain and that typical brains look like this and atypical brains look like this. And atypical is atypical in 1,000 different ways. However, our brains work differently. And when I say our, high sensory people are about 20 to 30% of the population. We process stimuli of all kinds much more deeply and we're more responsive to it. And that can include everything from sound and noise to energies, to lighting, to smells and scents, to textures, to temperature, to a lot of different things. We take them all in at the same time and we process them all, and we're aware of them at different levels. But they have an effect on our nervous system that is different from the way they affect other people or people who are not high sensory. There are a lot of people who can sit in an open office environment with a pair of headphones on and just block out everything else that's going on around them. That is really, really difficult to do for HSPs. And it's because of the way that we're wired. We are super conscientious and super responsible. And what we really want to do is get our work done and take care of everyone and make the company shine. When we are overstimulated and working hard to block out all kinds of stimuli that are coming in from lots of different sources, we can't focus. And we are using energy just to try to kind of stay regulated. It's the worst possible scenario for trying to get a job done. It is in every company's best interest to make accommodation for every kind of neurodiversity. You want your employees to be working in a place that allows them to focus and to be productive, right? So high sensory employees tend to mask. They're not likely to be walking around saying, I'm highly sensitive. They are not likely to be loud or vocal about their challenges. They are not necessarily likely to ask for accommodation, which means that HR and people teams and facilities managers and coordinators and other people in roles who are responsible for designing and setting up offices and accommodating employees need to be more aware of the different kinds of accommodations that are necessary. And of the fact that people won't necessarily come forward and ask for them. So I hope that was clear. I feel a little like I was babbling, but if you have any questions, please ask. If you have any experience with companies that have resolved the whole open office plan dilemma in a creative way, I'd love to hear about that or read it in the comments. If you have other topics that you would like to hear about or learn about or share about that relate to high sensory intelligence in the workplace, leadership with high sensory intelligence, or any other related topic, I would love to hear it. So until next time, I will sign out. See you soon.